Hi everyone, welcome to another watercolor art card tutorial. I'm going to be making a little snow couple with a snow cat and a snow dog. This is a commission for someone, and so I'm going to go through the process of how I make it. This will be my third watercolor YouTube tutorials. So if you've joined me, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoy the process, and if you do join, please leave me a comment and maybe even a picture of what you created. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, well, the first step for this is going to be to mask out the little balls here and basically my positive shapes. So to do that, I'm using a wet brush. This is a number 4 brush. I also have a number 2 and a number 1 here in case I need them. I'm just rolling this around in some Ivory Soap. And then I'm going into my Windsor watercolor masking fluid. And getting some, and I'll begin to just fill in my positive shapes here. I'm going to clean off my brush now and go back into the Ivory Soap and into the masking fluid and begin to apply again. I've sketched what I want here, so the masking fluid will go right over top that sketch and it will save it for me. My little cat body. The nice thing about this round brush is it goes into quite a fine tip, so I don't necessarily have to use my smaller brush unless I want to. There we go. Clean that off. Back in the soap. The reason that we use soap is so that the masking fluid does not stick to the bristles after using it. It's much easier to clean if you're using some soap. It's a trick here to take your time and be sure you've covered all the spaces, because what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to put on my background color, and I'm going to end up going right over top these snow people and snow animals. So whatever I don't want my background color, my background color will be blue, so whatever I don't want blue, basically I need to mask out. You could also just draw these and add the background color around them. This is just the way that I like to do this. Okay, and now I'm going to do the dog. Oops, I bumped the camera. He's looking up at one of his owners and getting a pet. I'm actually a cat lover. I've had cats all my life, not dogs, and so it was really easy for me to draw this cat. With the dog, I probably drew about 5 different times until I was happy with what I had. I had to look up dog shapes and kind of play around with my sketch. Okay, that's done. Clean my brush, and actually I do see some areas on the dog that are not completely covered, and I want to be careful here. Because this is going to be for somebody for Christmas, I want to take my time and do my very best. Okay. Now I'm going to splatter some masking fluid to save some white of the paper for some snow. Good, that'll do. I'm going to stop the camera here and let this dry. All right, my little snow couple is dry, and so I am ready to put on the background color. So I have a number 8 round brush, and I'm just going to apply water to the background here. I actually just painted a card with this water already, and so it's bluish, and that's okay because I'm going to be making this sky blue. So I'm going to want some wet on wet, so I'm just going to get the background wet with this blue. Excuse me, with this water that has a little bit of a blue hue to it. Blue hue. I'm a primary school teacher, so I tend to like rhymes. Okay, that's quite wet. Just going to lift a little bit of this water because it's maybe a little more wet than I want. I just want the paper saturated with a sheen. I don't want any puddles. All right, that's good. So I have here Cotmann Watercolours, and I have Prussian Blue, Diaxizone Purple, Dark Green, and Payne's Gray, and I'm going to use these colors in my background. So I'll start with the Prussian Blue. And I will just begin to drop it into my painting. Then I'm going to add some purple. I'm not really applying it in any particular way, just going by feel, how I feel like I want to. And kind of has a Northern Lights effect. And then a little bit of that Payne's Gray, just darken up some areas near the top. I want it quite dark. More Payne's Gray and Prussian Blue together. Okay. Now I'm just going to lift my board and let some of this color run together. Pick up some along the edges Tilt it sideways. Pick up some again along the edges. And that's probably good. All right, now I'm going into my dark green. And I'm going to tap in some of the green near the bottom. Give the look of some trees in the distance. Super. Nice. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go into this kosher salt. Kosher salt is available at most grocery stores, and I like it because the salt grains are bigger than table salt. And I'm just going to take some and pinch it randomly, sprinkle it on my painting, and lift off some of the larger grains. Carefully. Apply some blue where I lifted. Good. All right, I'm going to let that dry and take effect. Okay, well, this is dry now, and I'm going to remove the masking fluid and the salt. I'm being really careful on this dog's body because I don't want to, and the cat's, I don't want to rub off my little sketch I did on part of the cat, but I can always re-sketch that. The dog's body was trickier. I don't want to have to re-sketch it. There we go. I'm going to dump that into the garbage. And we can see here that the white of the paper was saved wherever I had masking fluid. And now I'm ready to almost ready to paint. I'm just gonna re-sketch in portion very gently of the cat that came undone. There we go. Okay, so I have here a variety of brushes. They're all round brushes except the end one. This is a liner brush, and I have a number 6, a number 4, a number 2, a number 1, and a 00. They're a variety of brands, and so I won't go over the brands. I may not use all of them, but it's nice to have them all handy, and I'm going to put them just off to the side here. Okay. I also have mixed up some paint. I have here just Payne's Gray, dark green, Diaxizone Purple, Prussian Blue. I've got Cadmium Yellow Medium, Cadmium Red Medium, and this was just a little mixture that I was using for shadows in another painting. We've got a bit of purple, a bit of blue, and a bit of gray in there. These are Cotmann Watercolours, and they work well. So I'm going to begin to create some shadows for my snow figures here. I'll start by using some of that mixture that I showed you I'll put a little more Prussian blue in there. I have a number 4 brush, and I'm going to add a little more Payne's gray. A nice deep color. All right, this I'm going to begin to put into the snow balls. I'm putting it on wet on dry, and then I'm going to clean my brush, and I have a saturated brush with pretty much no pigment, and I will pull some of that color around. I'm going to clean my brush again, and now it's still wet with no pigment, and I will wet this entire sphere, and the color is gradating. I'll pull out a bit of that, blend it out a bit more. Now I've got the appearance that one side is light and the other is dark, so it's a shadow effect, giving the snowman form. All right, I'm going to do that on this snow person's head. Clean my brush, dry it off a little bit. Clean my brush, dry it off a little. I don't want it too dry because I'm applying it here so that some of that color bleeds into the other side. There we go. I left space for the hat. Good. Now I will go down into this snowball. There is a dog's paw reaching in here, so we'll make space for that. Nice. Clean my brush, tap off a little bit of the water, and begin pulling that color across. Again, encouraging it to blend in a bit more. There we go. Nice. What's happening here is that I'm giving the illusion of form by shading one side and then letting the colors, letting this shade lighten as it goes across the sphere, what appears to be a sphere. It's actually just a circle. And that gives the appearance that there's light on one side of the snow people. Give some form to them. There we go. I'm just lifting off a little bit there. Nice. And this snow person's face, saving the shape of the little toque. I love to paint. I am a school teacher. I teach grade 2 this year. And my days are very busy. They're full of wonderful interactions with children. But when I come home from work, it's nice to relax in the evening and create. Okay. I've got my snow people done. Now I am going to do my snow dog. Same sort of idea, same general idea. And there's part of its body. With shadow and light. This is a foot here, part of his leg. He's looking up at his snow master, snow person, and doing, looks like he wants to do shake a paw. There's his paw, reaching out for a shake. There's the other paw, leg and paw. Bring that out. There we go. Now his tail. I don't actually know the gender of this dog. This is a commission for someone. And the family that they want to give this card to have a dog. Their dog has a fluffy tail. So I'm trying to make a large tail here. And I am drying my brush and lifting a portion of the pigment. There. Good. And I feel like that the back leg maybe needs a little more defining. Okay. I'll add more details later. I'm going to move along and do the cat. All right. Sweet little round body. Pull that paint out just like I did in the snow people. Same thing. There we go. And cat's head. The little ear. Pull that out. It's quite a small area. Try not to be too finicky here. And the tail. Wrapped around the cat. There we go. This is the light side. Lift that a bit. Sweet. Okay, we have some snow figures. Now, I can see behind the snow person that I must have had masking fluid go farther than I wanted because there's white spaces right here and I don't want those. So I'm going to need to fill those in with some blue, sort of to match the sky in a sense. I'll let it bleed out. It won't be the exact same color that I had before. but it'll have to do. There we go. And on this side as well, let that bleed out. Okay. Darken it up a bit in there. A lot of art is going with the flow and fixing mistakes and finding new beauties out of the mistakes. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to erase some of my pencil marks now because it's dry. Great. Okay, let's get the hats done. I think I'll go in for a smaller brush now. I'm reaching for my number 2. I like to use warm colors for the hats because so much of my art, so much of this, this painting is, cool. So I want some warm colors, but I want to just double check the commission to see if I was asked to do particular colors. So I'm going to stop the video here and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. Yes, I need to do blue and light pink for the colors. So, light pink. I have here some Alizarin Crimson and some gouache, white gouache. So I'll mix those together to create a pink. There we go. Super sweet how this hat is a little lopsided. I like it, it's fun. All right, there is a pink hat, a light pink hat, and now I'll make a light pink scarf. It looks a little more red than pink, but it's okay. And trail that scarf down. And the other portion I think will be going around the back. Nice. And blue. I think it would be nice to use a Cerulean Blue. I have some here. I'll just activate the color because it is a nice light blue and I don't have it on the painting already. I'm also reaching into some white gouache and I'm going to add some white gouache to this and create quite a light blue that way. I'm a little concerned that we won't see it well because of course there's so much blue in the sky, but I'll give it a try. All right. It's quite wet. Dab some off. There we go. Nice light blue hat. And I think I'll leave the pom-poms white with some shadowing. Blue and a scarf. It's very wet. I'm going to lift some of it off. There we go. There's his scarf. This is a couple, and apparently they have a dog and a cat. So this is their snow people portrait with a dog and a cat. I'd like to give the dog a collar, and for the dog's collar, just before I do, I think I'm going to put some white gouache into this to try to lighten up turn it more pink, light pink. There, that helps a lot. It's very pastel now. Kind of lost its lopsided effect, but that's okay. A very pastel color now. More what's been it's more towards what's been asked. Just blending the colors together right on the paper here. Good. I'll keep that side dark for a bit of a shadow effect. All right. There we go. Nice warm snow person. Okay, the dog. A dog collar. I'll use yellow with some red and have an orange collar. Cute. It almost looks like the dog has a leash. I mean, a scarf. Good. Okay, now some details. Eyes and nose and whiskers for the cat. Some more shading. For the details, I am going into Payne's Gray. There we go. This is my brush size 00. That's nice. Sweet. All right, I want to do some arms. And for the arms, I'm going to use a little bit of burnt umber. I'm using a liner brush here. Burnt umber. Let's take some out. And I'm going to just add some Payne's Gray to that. They're sticks, after all. I want them to be holding hands. How sweet is that? And this hand I want reaching out to the dog. He's getting a pet. And this hand, arm and hand can be coming along. It's resting on his hip. Good. Should have made the dog's tail wagging. He's getting a little pet. Okay, so next, oh, buttons. Let's get some buttons on these ones. And I want some shading, some shadow in their pom-poms. So I'm just using the same shadow mixture that I used for their bodies. I'll just do the exact same thing. Add a little bit of dark on one side and pull it over to blend out. A little bit of dark and pull it over. Sweet. Now I would like to go to my #1 brush to add some more shadow details to the cat and the dog. So I'll start with the cat. Just going to deepen up the shadow area here where the tail meets the body, under the chin. In the ears. Oh, I need it just a little darker there. Ears. I'm just using a straight Payne's gray right now. Very diluted. Good. And I could do the impression of some legs. I think I will. Just a little, or at least a little line where the legs are together. Actually, I think I'll add more here. A little shadow. There we go. 2 little legs tucked in, as cats do. I know, I have a cat. I love my cat. His name is Ziggy, and he gets lots of love. Although lately he's been sneezing. And so lately he's been getting lots of antibiotics. Poor little Ziggy. Okay. Try not to fuss too much. It's my motto. Don't fuss, don't fuss. Try not to fuss, because I can get carried away with details, and sometimes that can, sometimes something looks good and you can fuss and fuss and fuss, and you actually can take away the freshness of the look, and the whimsicalness and the playfulness, and this is certainly more of a playful piece of art. I'm just adding extra shadow where the snow people's body connects. Deepen it up there. And then I'm going to put some under the scarf. under the hat, under the collar. Now, this dog, just outline his paws a little better there. Okay. Now I'm going to create cast shadows. So I'm going to take my number 6 brush into the Payne's gray, a little bit of, actually I'll show you how I'm mixing this. So here's Payne's gray and a little bit, I put some purple in. And there's already blue in there. I'll put a bit more. There we go. Nice dark value. I'll start with the dog. Bringing some shadow around his tail, behind his body. And I'll pull that out with a diluted brush. Just water and let that bleed out a bit. It's a dog shadow. There will also be one under this paw, bottom here. Good. And now, the cat. I'm going to switch brushes. This one feels a little big. I've gone to a number 4 now. I have a little more control with a number 4. All right. And the snow people. Kind of look like they're floating without a shadow under them and just faintly going around. And his shadow is going to end up going towards his wife, his partner. There we go. Hers is going to go towards the dog. They're all connected. There. A little bit tricky. All right, I think I got it. That was a process. Okay. Now, part of his shadow is going to be cast right onto her body there. By George, I think I've got it. All right. Now I'm going to maybe actually go into a bit of purple here and just add a little detail around her hat just to make it a little more interesting. And maybe into a dark blue with his. I'll do the same. Little lines down. A few tassels there. Great. I'm wondering whether to give them noses or not, but I don't think I'm going to. They're cute the way they are. Next, okay, a little shadow here from the scarf and here. I'm going shadow crazy. All right, now the snow in front of them can use a bit of color. So, got my purple. Just add a little effect there. And pull it down with some water. Add a bit of interest to the snow. Good. Dab a bit. Break it up. Take a little bit into the background too. And now I'm on my last part. I'm going to use my number 4 brush, and I'm reaching into this gouache and getting it wet. It's the texture of liquid whiteout, and my brush is full of it. And I'm just going to dab. I'm going to splatter more snow. They are out in the snow. Sorry about that. I hit the camera. Okay. I just want to lift off a little bit. A lot landed on her face, so take a little bit of that off. Quick dab. There we go. Well, time to sign. And then move on to the next one. JR for Jasmine Rempel. All right, let's do the reveal. Peel off the tape, see what we've got. Sorry, you got a lot of my hands there. There we are, a beautiful little snow family, ready to go to someone for Christmas. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, if you followed along and painted your own painting, please leave a comment. Also subscribe and like. I'm new at YouTube, and it'd be nice to know that you're out there. You can find my art on Instagram at Jasmine Rempel Art, JASMINESON. Oh no, that's my maiden name. JASMINEREMPEL Art. Have a wonderful evening or day wherever you are.